Hamilton, like, what's your vibe on? Like, the sky is not falling. You had a bad game. You're still the best team in the NFC. Like, the sky is not falling here, Hamilton. What say you?
I'm with you. The Ravens played a tremendous game, not to take anything away from what they did whatsoever, because they were incredible last night. But on the Niners side, they had some bad breaks. They had a bunch of things not go their way, and a couple tip balls that got intercepted. I think Purdy had a rough day. There's no getting around it. But that doesn't mean that things are over. That doesn't erase his entire body of work from this year either. So I'm with you. I'm not ready to get off the Niners whatsoever, just because the Ravens looked great last night.
And to people who the internet is lighting up Debo, like, you don't want to come on the show and face the music and whatever. Like, are y'all Entertainment Tonight? Do we not know how NFL schedules work? Like, you guys are all exposing yourselves for not understanding? Debo would never shy down from coming on the show. Their schedule changed. When teams lose and win, their schedules shift and things change, and they've got to figure things out. So we're trying to get him on the show, but let no one believe, or I don't want it out there that Debo like didn't want to come on the show because they lost. That's not what happened.
Yeah, not at all. Just the schedules change, as you said, especially after primetime games, especially on a short week coming off of Monday Night Football. And sometimes when teams win, they get a day off the day after the win, and when they lose, they have to go right back to work, and the meetings change, the schedules change. So,
Yeah.
I know that's the case with what's going on with the 49ers right now. So yeah, I know Debo. We've had Debo on after plenty of losses, or not plenty, because they haven't lost that much, but we've had him on after losses this year. I'm sure he'll be back.
I'll say that all I asked Santa Claus for was, I don't want to have the MVP discussion anymore. I've told you guys this in show meetings, and let's ask about the MVP. All I wanted from Santa was, can we make it clear? I'm sick of is it CMC? Is it Purdy? Can we throw Straight Williams? We have our answer. And it's Lamar Jackson. And I saw him play the Jags from Cabo last week, and he looked every bit of the part with iconic MVP stuff. And it's not a discussion anymore. It's over. Thank goodness. When you look at plays like the ones he had against the Jags under the bright lights, and this one right here.
Exactly.
Let's take a look at this run. There is no one in the league who's harder to defend. And I hopefully we're sure. Yeah, there it is. I mean, he's impossible to contain. He can beat you in so many different ways. And, he put this performance on display against the other He said, sorry, Christian. Sorry, Brock. It's me. 252 and 2 scores through the air. He leads the team in rushing. And after one early mistake on the safety, he was pretty much perfecto the rest of the way. This Ravens defense, by the way, because we're going to talk about the Niners plenty, but the Ravens defense showed everyone why they are and earned the right to be the scariest and number one defense in the league. Kyle Hamilton, we talked about him a lot on the show this year. He is a superstar. He had 2 picks. They had Purdy under pressure all night long. Purdy, who just was a little confused, which makes sense because it's just as, he's had less than 25 starts in the National Football League. But, this defense keeps the Niners offense under wraps in a way we have not seen anyone do when they're at full strength. So it was as good of a performance that you could have. I thought it was the worst thing for the rest of the NFL was Marcus Peters getting an interception right at the end, because he's such a lightning rod. He's such an energy giver on that team. So that momentum will carry over with him having his first interception of the season against his team on Christmas night. After a year of hearing about parity and about nobody separating themselves in the AFC, I think the Ravens made it clear last night they're the best team in the entire conference. And listen, I'm not saying there's not work to be done here. The Ravens, they have the 1 seed. They need a win over the second place Dolphins to clinch it. And that is going to be the biggest litmus test. That's going to show us everything we need to know. Ravens, Dolphins, week 17. Oh boy, oh boy. If Miami somehow manages to win it, and they might, it would put Miami in the driver's seat for number 1 heading into the final week of action. And this was a big game last night for how the Ravens are being perceived. But next week is really what's going to sort of solidify, is this the team we're going to see in the Super Bowl? And gosh, how fun would that be? And I loved Lamar at the end of the game telling the wonderful Lisa Salters, I don't care about the MVP. By the way, I have one. I already have one. But he wants to get past those stupid full screens, those graphics about what they didn't do against the Chargers, what they didn't do against the Bengals deep into it. He's got way bigger dreams that he's trying to fulfill and focus on. I guess we should get to the Niners side of things, guys. I'm not freaking out like a lot of people are. My main concern and what I want to talk to Taylor about, I hated seeing Trent on the sideline, and he's pacing, and he's, that's a veteran player. That's a guy who's been around, a guy who's really important to his team on the field and off of it. But he's looking at a Super Bowl dream. He's looking at his dream of getting a ring on that. And he leads. He's got a groin. Then Purdy has a stinger. The backup offensive line. The offensive line's been a bit of an issue for this squad. Now they are still in the driver's seat. I'm going to put a healthy Niners team is still the best team in the entire conference. I have to say, like, the Lord of the Flies level descending on Brock Purdy after one rough night that included a couple of interceptions that kind of weren't on him. He had an unlucky night as well. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. It's not cute. It's not cute that we do that. The best quarterbacks in NFL history have had bad games against great defenses, and they've had handfuls of interceptions. Okay, Peyton Manning, ring a bell to anybody? It happens. We get it. You didn't like him early, and everybody's just waiting with pitchforks for something to justify why you were right, that he's not great, Micah Parsons included. But one bad night is not defining him or this Niners team to me. They're the best team in the conference. The body of work tells me who they are. What Brock's done with this team outside of yesterday tells me who they are. So I did want to address that for a second. I would say, Hamilton, can I get you back if you're here? I would say, as I was watching it, like, why aren't we running the ball more?
Yeah. Yeah, there were moments where, they had that drive after the one Purdy interception, after that one that got tipped up to Kyle Hamilton, where they just went right to McCaffrey and marched right down the field. And it did seem like they got away from that at times. But, it was just one of those nights, I think, for that. I fully expect them to bounce back. I'm with you.
I'm just like, when Brock's throwing interceptions and that's happening, and I actually appreciated his poise and, to throw 4 picks and still look how he did. I think he deserves a lot of credit for it. He's so young. And like, I don't think we pay enough mind to that. But I was just like, isn't this the team that teams are successfully running on having more success running instead of passing. And when you're not I just figured they might run the ball more. I don't quite know. And I think that if they face each other again, they'll run the ball more. And I can't wait. Who do the Niners have this week? And then they have the Rams to close it out. Who do they have? Oh, they have
Washington this week. So, yeah.
Bench Howell. We'll see how that goes. That should be a nice, thing. But it's about and I think I texted you during the game last night, Warner looks, and I know the open field, they look like they need a nap.
Yeah. And that's how Lamar will make defenses look, because he's running around. He's extending plays. You're seeing plays that are going for 10, 15 seconds, and defenses aren't used to that. There's nothing that you're going to face all year that's like that. Nothing in practice can simulate it. And that's what makes Lamar so special.
They need a first round bye. They need the 1 seed. I think they need to, especially with Trent, I think they need the 1 seed. All right. Thanks, Hammer. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Taylor Lewan on the way to break down some of that offensive line, and we'll address some of that in a second.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe right here. Do it now for the latest from Up and Adams.